Hello, trading has closed on the 8th of June, 2023. As always, we'll do our disclaimer first. We'll go over our calls and then we'll make some predictions. Well, this is my trading plan for tomorrow, which is June the 9th. Please remember that my calls can be wrong and any trade you make should be made at your own risk. Look for the pattern with the really low, which is this. We said we should trade lower, which we did, but I said that didn't prevent a recovery. We had an optional target of 42.93.12, and we hit it pretty much right on the nose today, even though I thought it might not work. This is just a reminder of what we said. Tomorrow has the early high. Well, it might seem like magic that you can hit these numbers right on the nose 2 days in a row, but anyone familiar with the system can make the calls himself without waiting for me. A number of people ask me how to order. The instructions are always on the front page. You can order from PayPal, or you can order the electronic version of the book from Harriman House. You can get the video, the webinar, and the book for under $100 combined. And even if you never make a trade with the system that makes you money, it'll certainly keep you out of trades that would lose you money. And I think anyone who's familiar with the system knows where these numbers come from. It may look like magic, but it's really not. That number gets crossed off the list. We'll add a new one, 42.74.68. MEJT says this rally is not for keeps. We're going to retrace to this line. In the afternoon, gave a sell signal. The target was hit. There's an optional higher target, and that also printed. Well, we're still stalling at resistance here. And I'm still waiting for some confirmation we've completed wave B, because I'm champing at the bit to go along here because I think a big rally's coming. I just can't count this as an impulsive wave up. Now I had this as the high of the leg, and so far that's held. I don't mind if that high is retested once, but if it's retested again, it's just a matter of time, I think, till we break through it, and probably before we go too much lower, if we go lower at all. So this is bullish stuff. And I do have the lower target, which might hold it up. And I do have sentiment indicators, which as of today gave a clear sell. So I'm not saying we have to go up tomorrow, but we just might not be getting as much of a decline as I thought we were going to get. We'll have to use the mixed signals rules. They're right here. Tomorrow's pattern has the early high. We could still gap down. Typically it's a rally day with a high and a final hour, but failure is a straight line drop. Now there is a lower MEJT target. Unless we keep up smartly, the rules call for it to print. Sentiment indicators are now on a clear sell. These aren't pinpoint indicators. They won't tell you what'll happen tomorrow, and they don't prevent us going higher first. Now we stopped at a level which I thought was the end of the leg up, and that high is so far it's held. But rather than dropping, we've continually retested that high, and the more times the level is retested, the greater the likelihood we break through it. So I think we're going to break through it and go higher. This is bullish action today. But despite this bullish retest, I'm going with the lower MEJT target unless we gap up smartly. This is not a clear picture for me, and anyone risking money on the call should be aware of that. We had a perfect setup for a top here, and instead of dropping, we retested the high. Now, of course, if we gap under this low or gap and take this low out fast, this rally doesn't count. But I don't know what's going to make that happen. Maybe it will. I don't know what's going to happen when we open tomorrow, but we had a good opportunity to have a drop here, rallied instead, keep pounding on this resistance level, and If it weren't for the lower target, and if it weren't for sentiment, I'd say we were going up. But there is the lower target, there is the sentiment. I'm going to have to grit my teeth and go with that, but if we gap up, just forget everything I said, because gapping up sharply kills the call, as always. So tomorrow has the early high. Typically it's a bullish day. We could gap up and blast up on the upside. Just remember, if it fails, it's a straight line drop, and that's why the signals are mixed, and that's why I'm not going to hold any position overnight, even though I'm tempted, but I'm not going to do it. And that's today's call.